Today on the channel, we finish up the 2026 WWE Mattel Elite WrestleMania wave as we build the Sam Roberts Build-A-Figure, and we rank the entire wave from my least favorite to my favorite.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, back at it again with another Build-A-Figure build plus set rankings. As today we're talking about Sam Roberts Build-A-Figure and the WrestleMania 2026 Elite Wave. And of course, we're going to start it off with the Sam Roberts, and we'll end in the back half of the video putting Sam Roberts in with the rest of the gang, and we'll rank the entire wave from my least favorite to my favorite. So stick around for that. And of course, got to give a shout out to Ringside Collectibles. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10%. That's where you get this WrestleMania wave right now, of course, much farther ahead than the Targets and Walmarts of the world, as we know traditionally with Ringside. And of course, we're going to do this review like we do all the other Build-A-Figure reviews, is we're going to talk about the Build-A-Figure, and we'll rank the wave in the back half. But let's start off with Sam Roberts. A bit of a surprise as far as Build-A-Figures go. Now, we've got a few announcers over time, lately with Corey Graves and Michael Cole. We've got a lot of different referees. We've also got some quasi-managers and managers, the Disciples, the Vincents, Virgils of the world, things like that. But this time, we're getting a modern-day announcer. And honestly, you take that step back, Sam Roberts has been around the WWE for quite some time. Now, he's not the voice of Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views and stuff, but a lot of pre-game, post-game shows, talking head pieces, interview pieces, and things. He also has a radio show on SiriusXM, multiple radio shows and podcasts. A man about town, of course. Some may call him the last professional broadcaster. I call him the son of Jake the Snake Roberts. Yes, we figured that out in that Jake review, that there's a lot of circles going around, a lot of wind in the air going around, that he may be the illegitimate son of Jake the Snake. Somebody's going to have to do some fact checks. Somebody get Ventura on the case. But it is cool enough to get Sam Roberts. Now, taking that step back, would I rather have a slick figure? Just throwing a first manager that came to my head that we haven't got. Yeah, I think most of us would like to get slick, but I don't hate this at all. And you put yourself in the place of a modern day WWE fan. Maybe you're 10, 12 years old, something like that. You're going to be into a Sam Roberts. That's just the thing. So this might not be for everybody, but it is cool. It is something different. By no means is it the best Build-A-Figure of all time. I think that's pretty fair. But it is cool, and you got to take that step back to the right this time. One back, then to the right. Sam Roberts has got to be through the moon or over the moon with this one here. How cool is it to get your own action figure? Kudos to him for that. But let's dive into this one. Let's start off with the accessories. The real only accessory here is a modern-day WWE microphone. Makes sense, of course. He's talking WWE. He's got to have that microphone. And then we get down to business here, and there's not a ton of meat on the bone. This is fairly easy to do. The most complicated thing for the Mattel team would be getting these head sculpts. And pretty cool idea that they gave us a young Sam Roberts and an old Sam Roberts. And I guess we'll start with old man Sam Roberts. I don't know if he's old man, but older Sam Roberts we're going to start with here. And I can tell this is Sam Roberts if I see this. They really, the key to looking at Sam Roberts' face, and Todd, I stare at it every single day. Let me tell you, I just stare at pictures just like this. But getting the push broom, the old mustache, and the lip combo just right, they got this on the figure here. And that's a hallmark of Sam Roberts' face, whether people know that or not. Of course, the bald head in this modern day here for Sam, and his very loving eyes. Yes, loving eyes on Sam Roberts. 2 eyes, 2 ears, a nose, and a mouth. Looks like Sam Roberts. I have no issues with this head sculpt here. Now, this head sculpt's a little bit different. We're throwing it back quite some time for young Sam Roberts. Now, young Sam Roberts I never saw wearing a suit and stuff like this, so that is a little bit of a mismatch here, and I guess you just close your eyes and you kind of pretend here, but cool to get an early edition Sam Roberts and an old edition Sam Roberts. If you're a great customizer, maybe there's a good body you put with this one on somewhere else, maybe like that John Nada Hollywood Roddy Piper, maybe you stick this on there, maybe that would be more street gear Sam Roberts, but modern, classic take, choose your adventure. He almost looks like, the hair on here almost reminds me of the guy from, what was the guy's name? He was a singer. There we go. We're going to dial it down. He was party guy. What was he singing about? Tufu, or I don't know. I'm going to put the picture up here because I'll think of it eventually. But it kind of reminds me of that in the hair department here. But both Sam Roberts, for me, if I only have one, I'm displaying classic Sam Roberts. However, I'm in the market to display both of them. You know me, I want to display everything I possibly can. I'm going to try to track down another Build-A-Figure body and get this Sam Roberts on display as well. So there we go. But now diving into Sam Roberts, outside of the head, you got your classic suit. So once again, this isn't a bad deal here because let's say for whatever reason you don't want Sam Roberts, you could probably do with a suit like this with a different head from a different elite, a custom head, whatever it may be. You got a perfectly good suited body right here. So that is a possibility here. Black suit and tie, all that kind of stuff, ready to go. Arms all the way around for us, bicep cut, double jointed, pinless elbows, hands removable back, forth, side to side, 2 gripping hands on this one. No real ab crunch going on because of the suit coat. You do get the waist side to side. However, your mileage may vary. You got a little Vietnam issue here as mine falls apart very easily at the waist. I can't get it to lock in. Usually you pop it in and then you turn it. You pop and lock is what I usually say. You turn it and it locks in. I do not have that working on mine very well. So it'll stick together, but the minute you try to bend him to sit down, you're going to break right in half. Like a young Jeff Jarrett, AEW Unrivaled Series 18. So I got that issue with mine. Now, your mileage may vary. As I said, I'd be interested to hear in the comments if you have that same issue with your Build-A-Figure. But any kind of movement on the legs, he's just snapping across for me here. That's unfortunate. We continue to see issues with Vietnam. We go from the highs of highs, lowest and lows, and a little bit back and forth right now. So it feels like there's constant learning, constant improvement, but it's not all the way there from the Mattel factories as of yet. So waist articulation issues on mine. You get a thigh cut. Once again, leg goes up, pops the body off for me. Double jointed pinless knees, ankles back and forth, side to side, up and down. Usual articulation here out of a Build-A-Figure style body. And he should fit on a ringside stand, of course, using Kyle as the code at ringside to save 10%. Is one Sam Roberts. Is it the greatest Build-A-Figure of all time? No, it is not. It is a very cool one and done. I don't think we're getting any more Sam Roberts. A modern take on a announcer, YouTube star, Sirius XM host. Yes, it is. So there you go. Sam Roberts, the Build-A-Figure. But now we got to bring in the rest of the WrestleMania gang, and we got to rank the entire wave from my least favorite to my favorite. All right, let's dive into the WrestleMania set rankings here. Of course, the 2026 WrestleMania set feels wild here. The end of September, early October, depending when you're watching this, Patreon, regular YouTube, depending. It feels wild to be unboxing and talking WrestleMania stuff as we got almost like a half a year away to WrestleMania. But that's how much earlier ringside gets a lot of these sets, as these will be around retail, poking around the shelves and on displays around, of course, WrestleMania in 2026. So very crazy to get them this early, but here we are, and we're going to dive into it. We got 5 total figures here, including Sam Roberts Build-A-Figure Wave. I would say a little bit of something for everybody here, but nothing really recent with this WrestleMania one. Of course, I guess Sam Roberts is the most up-to-date figure in a lot of ways with this one, is the Build-A-Figure. You get Jake throwing it back to the early days of WrestleMania. Maybe John Cena, middle days of WrestleMania, kind of, in 2020s. Same thing, Seth Rollins. And then Stardust throwing it back fairly recently. I mean, obviously a throwback figure. It's not Cody Rhodes, but also is a throwback. Almost, you could almost say legend. Is Stardust a legend? Maybe. But we didn't get anything current. We didn't get a current Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins from just last year's WrestleMania or 2 years ago WrestleMania. So a little bit different in this set. I'm not opposed to it. I don't hate it. I don't dislike it. I just like when I get good figures. And for the most part, we got a decent lineup here, but as usual, some are better than others. So we're going to rank them, and we're going to start at number 5, work our way to number 1. Number 1 being my absolute favorite. Put your list, put your comments in the comments down below. But without further ado, let's start it off at number 5. And unfortunately, this is going to be number 5. I thought at first I'd like it a lot more, but unfortunately, quality control issues really held this one back. We got a lot of those Vietnam factory issues. Plus, I'm not a huge fan of the head sculpt on this one. Who are we talking about at number 5? We're going to Seth Rollins, unfortunately. Now, I like the idea of this one. Very plain Jane for Seth, but I really like the looks of it in the package. I thought it was cool. My favorite thing on this one is they gave him those blue-eyed contacts, which make it pop a little bit more. The bad thing is it's an old Seth Rollins head sculpt, face scan, and there's just a void of personality in the Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins is always cackling, yelling, screaming, doing all of this kind of things. So to have zero personality with the Seth Rollins with those crazy blue eyes is like, it just cancels each other out. I wish he would have had a little bit more expression in his face, plus those blue eyes. I think that would have made the figure a heck of a lot better. Pretty plain Jane, all things considered for Seth. And unfortunately, a lot of different quality issues with this one from Vietnam. Your mileage may vary as usual. But Seth Rollins I'm going to put in at number 5. Number 4, our friend, the son of Jake the Snake Roberts, Sam Roberts, going to come in at number 4 for me here. Once again, quality issues. I can't get him to connect securely. That is unfortunate. Besides that, it's a fine figure. It's a fine rendition of Sam Roberts. I don't think Sam Roberts, well, maybe he'd rank himself higher, but I would think he would say, hey, there's maybe some better figures here. And I think Sam's just happy to have a figure. And once again, I don't fault it. I don't mind this figure at all. Is it the most popular Build-A-Figure? Probably not. It's not going to be a Disciple or a Vincent, one of those we talked about. But it is cool to get this one here. But somebody's got to be number 4, and Sam is taking up the mantle there. But now we're diving into number 3. Number 3, you can't see me. It's John Cena. I've almost seen enough, almost. But it is a special time for Cena this year and next year from the Mattel line. It's the end of John Cena's run. I don't fault that either. Just like Hulk Hogan, a lot of people last year, I'm sick of the Hulkster. Well, it's 40 years of Hulkamania. You got to celebrate these kind of things. And when you take that step back, once again, there's a lot of step backs in this video as we talked about. The Hulkster passing away this year. It's kind of cool that people got to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Hulkamania while Hulk Hogan was still among the living on the earth. So John Cena is what it is. Once again, a very generic plain Jane face on this one. Very much like Seth Rollins. Not a lot of personality here. I don't mind the jersey. Don't mind the hat. It's a good representation of the WrestleMania Cena. It's just could have been better, and that's where the Ultimates come in. We got a lot of extra heads for Ultimates. Maybe you move one of those heads over here. Bada boom, bada bing, you got a better Cena. But as it is right here, number 3, kind of middle of the road for me, which means there can only be one. We're down to the final 2 here. Easily the best 2 figures. I think there is a bit of a margin here. These 2 really leading the way. Jake the Snake Roberts, the older generation, the early days of WrestleMania and the mid area of WrestleMania. I don't know what to call it with Cody as Stardust here. But I'm going to go at number 2. I'm going to go Jake the Snake Roberts, father of Sam Roberts. I want to get that rumor going. Can we get that rumor going a little farther? And then we'll get Cody Rhodes as Stardust at number 1. Now, Jake the Snake, you love Jake the Snake. I love a classic Legends. This could be in the WWE Target Legends line very easily, but cool to get this one here. Very basic Jake Roberts gear, and I forgot in my video, I should have compared it. There is a Jakks version of this once upon a time from the 3-pack Classic Superstars line. It's a cool modern rendition of that. I really like it a lot, and sometimes less is more in figures, and that's where that Jake is right here. Very, very fun Jake. We have seen this head sculpt before, but Cody Rhodes, Stardust, taking the top spot for me here. Perfect for the Halloween season in the orange and black attack. Ready to tag team with Taz, maybe. Who knows what he's up to. But it is a beautiful Stardust, and we've got a few Stardust, and we compared them in that video. Check it out if you missed it. This one is very cool with the Mr. Sinister style cape going on. I do like the orange and black attack with the silver. I like the silver face paint. Of course, the hands give it a little bit of extra expression. There's a lot to like about this one. And we get a sea of Cody Rhodes figures all the time from all the different Mattel lines. It always feels special when we get a Stardust figure. Not sure what else we got for meat on the bone on Stardust, but I'm welcoming any more we can get. But this one, possibly the best Stardust figure of all time. Now, we did a top 5 countdown of Stardust figures once upon a time on the channel. This one obviously was not part of that. Maybe one day we'll have to redo that list, and this will definitely be on that list, possibly even number 1. Just a very, very fun figure, very cool figure. So there it is. WrestleMania 2026 Elite Wave, an interesting one, but I'd be interested to hear your thoughts, and I'd be interested to hear your set rankings, and of course, put them in order. You can take them a lot more serious when they're in order, of course, but let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to both my YouTube channels. Check out Patreon and YouTube channel memberships for even more content. SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com. Of course, my podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show. Every Tuesday, wherever podcasts are found, video cast on YouTube. So for WrestleMania Elite 2026 Wave, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?
For me.